My object is this card that my friend gave to me before I started sixth form. During year 11, she left and we would always send text messages to each other and emails. And one day I thought it would be quite interesting if I actually sent her a letter. So I wrote this letter and she was quite overwhelmed and she really loved it. So then she thought she'd send me a letter and I've kept it 5-6 years. Quite an emotional one, but also because whenever I encounter the card, I instantly start smiling, and because it brings back so many memories of her. The object serves the purpose of being this kind physical of sort of vortex, I guess, which I can reach and grab these intangible memories that I have of those times and my friends and the situations and the environments that we were in. So it is an ultimate reminder of my friend. The object kind of triggers the memories of my friend. Physical in terms of I pick up the object and I know how to function the object or turn it around. I look at all aspects of it. I read it, dictates every action. There isn't this kind of constant need or want to think, oh, where's my card? I have to read it now. I don't read it every day. It's kept in a safe place because I don't want anything to happen to it. I like to protect it, to keep it safe. As soon as I do approach the object, I get overwhelmed with happiness. Like I really want to relive those memories that I had with my friends. I instantly just start to feel very down and very upset because it's also like a loss. It's a reminder that my friend is no longer with me. So it's like switching between different emotions, so it's very ambiguous in that sense. It's two-sided. It doesn't make me feel one specific thing, it makes me feel a whole spectrum of things. I've spent many years with my friend and she was a part of my growing up, so we learnt off each other. Our habits rubbed off on each other and we're very similar in that sense because we grew up together. My friend has more of an impact on me, but the card necessarily just reinforces the impact that I had with my friend, and I wouldn't take it anywhere with me just to keep it safe, just to keep it at home. If I were to lose it, it would make me feel instantly upset, and I think I would overcome that. So it's not like, I wouldn't say it's an extension of myself, and I wouldn't say I can't live without it. It sums up everything we've been through. It sums up our thoughts, our opinions on everything and how we relate to each other. So it would be very sad to lose that and to not remember something it anymore. That I probably would be able to live without. It's not so much the actual card I'm drawn to, it's the content of the card, because I can, just by looking at the words, I can visualize how she would say this. It is a reminder of my friend. So as long as I still have that friendship with my friend, there is probably not a need for this card, but it's probably because I don't physically see my friend. I haven't seen her for roughly 3 years or so. So although it's a strong statement about our friendship, it's ultimately the person which it reminds me of, which makes it so important. I think it's very interesting how every single object carries a history, just like how every human carries a history, because I don't know all of this object's history. It was passed down from people to people. It's been through so many different environments and situations. So I am part of this object's history. Even the dents and the marks, because it's also broken, it's also ripped, and that reinforces its history too, is everything that's happened. To be fair, I wouldn't want to repair it because, again, it's part of its history, it's part of its marks. The marks become its history, the history becomes the object, and the object itself. We as humans We also have a history, we go through things, but we can talk about it. But there's this silent kind of mystery behind an object, obviously because it's inanimate, it can't talk. It holds a secretive element, which is its history, which I think makes it so much more personal and so much more special to me. And it's her writing, it's her marks, even the mistakes, she's crossed them out. They're the marks that she would make. It's the words that she uses, it's how she's written it, it's what she's written, it's her language. Just knowing that she had myself in mind, it has been constructed specifically for me if someone were to start playing with it or ripping it, because technologies are part of ourselves. We make things animate. I think just to re-establish a certain bond with something, when something feels alive, give something life, I think it becomes much more precious to us. She had specifically picked out the colours, the shape, the paper, the type of paper. I've become used to its touch, its texture, it has designs on it. I've become used to the way certain words are written. I've become used to the content of it. I probably know it inside out, what she's written. I would say that our senses play a really big part of how we experience something. It triggers the emotional response or the physical response. For example, if something were to have sharp spikes on it, if the card were to have spikes on it, and I touched it, I would slightly have a more negative approach to the object and be very wary and careful around it, whereas it's very smooth. And so it makes me have a different approach to the object. Words, they establish this strong emotion depending on what is said. I think the physicality of writing is quite an important thing, and we do tend to lose that these days due to the easy access of text messages and emails. The physicality of writing, because I think it's so much more personal. Because I think marks are a deep representation of how we feel and how we integrate and what we want to communicate to one another. The card is part of me in the sense that it is mine and it was given to me, therefore it's my possession. It's also emotionally part of me, psychologically part of me. I would say that there is this codependency between me and the card, because I go to the card for comfort whenever I'm feeling a certain way, or I feel like I need to contact my friend. I will look at the card. So there is this codependency, because if the card isn't there, I would still feel the way I'm feeling, but the card changes my emotion, so it's a transformation. It changes my emotion completely. Memories aren't really as powerful and as strong as when we are actually experiencing them. For example, in this room right now, I know how I'm feeling, I know how I'm acting, I can experience the whole room for what it is because I am actually here. And my senses play a big part in me experiencing and exploring the room. A couple of months from now, it's intangible. I can remember what happened, I can remember how I felt or what I did, but it's not the same. So I slightly start to lose and ungrasp or unclaw myself of the actual day. It's not a strong reminder, because I've moved on and this is me in the current life as opposed to in the past.